I'm at the forefront. I can push the boundaries and I don't have to limit myself. Like my brain is like rewired now. So I do work for the government. We don't work weekends, we don't work holidays. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. I realize how important and how profound it is for patients to feel and be represented. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to discuss is it worth becoming a nurse practitioner? I get asked this question quite a bit, so I figured I'd do a quick video kind of going through the pros and cons of being a nurse practitioner and do I think it is worth becoming a nurse practitioner. So just to reintroduce myself, my name is Natalie. I am an adult geriatric primary care nurse practitioner, meaning I work in the primary care setting, outpatient, and I've been a nurse practitioner for about a year and a half now. I got my degree in 2020, but I didn't start working until about April of 2022. And it's been a little over a year, and so far the answer is yes. I believe it is 110% worth becoming a nurse practitioner. I do not regret becoming a nurse practitioner, and I'm going to go more in detail about it. If anyone is interested in becoming a nurse practitioner, I am the first one to tell you go ahead and do it. And it is one of the best decisions I made in my life. And actually soon after becoming a nurse practitioner, it already revealed itself that it was worth doing it, and I'll talk about that in a few. So first, I want to discuss finances. So financially, as far as salary, I work in New York City, and typically on average you can make 140K and up as a new nurse practitioner. Again, with more experience, depending on what setting or what specialty, that can vary. It can be more, it can be less, but on average about 140K and up. And for me, that is a decent starting or base salary, and you can obviously grow on top of that. You can do per diem, you know, if you want to supplement that salary, which I discussed in a previous video. I think that's a great start for a base salary, so that's one of the reasons why I believe it's worth it. And just to go further on finances, as far as funding becoming a nurse practitioner, I worked full-time on the night shift as a registered nurse on a med-surg floor, and because I worked full-time, my hospital paid for my entire nursing degree, and so it was essentially free. You know, I did have to come out of pocket for books and just a few other like fees that the school put that outside of tuition, so you know, it was essentially free, and I thought that was very cost effective. So it was like, for me, it was kind of like a no-brainer. Like undergrad I had to pay for, and for my master's degree you're gonna pretty much pay for it. Why not take advantage and you know, better myself, get an advanced practice degree, and just, you know, further my career academically. Okay, so as far as job marketability, I feel like when I became a nurse practitioner, it made me more marketable. It gave me more options as far as job hunting goes. So one of my first job opportunities, which was a per diem job as a nurse practitioner, was during COVID, working at a vaccine site, and I was simply just supervising the site, and I was able to make over $100 an hour doing so, and that was like my first nurse practitioner gig. And you know, like I was just like, wow, it's already working out for me becoming a nurse practitioner, because you know, I was not used to making over $100 an hour, so that was like pretty fulfilling. And you know, I do work full-time as a nurse practitioner. I work part-time as a registered nurse. So on the job hunt, I'm looking at registered nurse positions and nurse practitioner positions, which just widens the spectrum, widens the opportunity for me to land that perfect position. Okay, so I feel like I like the fact that I'm more marketable because I'm working with two degrees. It's kind of like a dual degree, and you know, it you know, just allows me to match the credentials when it comes to job hunting more, because I do have that additional degree. It financially makes sense for me, as well as when it comes to job hunting, which is also an extension of your finances. It's been working out as well. So as far as patient care, I feel like I play a larger role, a more integral role in my patient care, because I'm so used to advocating for patients as a registered nurse. And I feel like not only can I advocate for my patients, but I can actually have a bigger say and you know, place those orders that I really want placed for my patient. So for example, as a nurse, when I felt like I had a patient that was that, you know, came up post-op after, let's say, back surgery, because I did work on a neurospine floor, and the pain measurement wasn't working. We were giving the patient PCA dilaudid with clinician boluses, but the patient is really having a lot of spasming, and I think Valium would be a good medication to help with alleviate those symptoms and make the patient more comfortable post-operatively. And sometimes the providers won't agree with that, and they you know, I'm really trying to advocate for the patient, and the patient is so uncomfortable. They're constantly pressing on the call bell, and as a nurse, it puts you in a very you know, it's like a sticky position. It's in a challenging position. But now as a nurse practitioner, I feel like because I've been on that side, it's just like, it's kind of like a hybrid of a nurse and a provider, and I am able to, you know, understand where the nurse is coming from, or understand, just be able to put in those orders, be a more integral part of the interdisciplinary team. I love the autonomy that comes with being a nurse practitioner. Yes, I have a collaborating physician. I have fellow nurse practitioners that I can bounce ideas off of, but essentially it's like it's a very autonomous role, especially in the state of New York. And you know, I use all of my resources, and especially when it comes to challenging situations, you know, my resources are readily available for me so that I can practice safely. But I love the autonomy that I have, and I just don't feel so restricted, and I feel like I can better advocate for the patient. I'm at the forefront of their care, and I love that for myself. I love playing a larger role. It comes with a lot of responsibility, but it's very rewarding, especially when you develop an effective patient plan, care plan. Really that really makes a difference in your patient's life, and helps to manage these complex diseases and symptoms that they have. So it's very rewarding. As far as scheduling, so like I said, I was a registered nurse on a med-surg floor, night shift. Now I am day shift, 5 days a week, 8-hour shift, 7 to 3 p.m. And the schedule is not ideal. You know, my ideal schedule is 12-hour shift, 3 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. No weekends, no holidays. That is my ideal schedule, but in a perfect world, right? So right now my schedule is 7 to 3, 5 days a week. You know, although that's one of the major cons of being an outpatient nurse practitioner, I just learned how to deal with it, right? So I transitioned from night to day shift, which is very life-changing, right? I feel healthier, I feel normal, I'm sleeping well at night, I'm adjusting. It's great for family life. And this schedule leaves not a lot of time on your days off to get a lot done, right? So how I work around this is, and yes, weekends and holidays off is amazing. But what I typically do is after work, I try to run all of my errands: hair, nails, car maintenance, groceries, laundry, everything, etc. Everything errands we try to get done after work. Although I am very tired and fatigued after work, I push through to get it done. So by the time the weekend comes, Friday after work, I'll typically kind of relax, chill, any kind of loose ends that I need to tie as far as errands, I'll kind of do instead of being super overwhelmed. Excuse me. And then Saturday, I'll typically try to do something very social. By then, hair, nails, everything should be all done, or everything did. And I'll try to socialize, just to have that work-life balance. But Sundays, I you know, I have the option to either go out or not. And this schedule allows for me to be productive, for me to also get rest and have a good work-life balance. And in doing so, being a nurse practitioner really allowed me to realize that even though it's not 312s that I would like, we all get the same we all have the same 24 hours in a day, right? So it just allows me, or made me realize that I can get so much done in a day because I'm literally trying to cram as much as I can during the weekdays, so that during the weekends I can kind of like exhale and relax and breathe. So I love the fact that so yeah, being a nurse practitioner has definitely taught me how to really maximize my days and how to get the most out of my days, and maybe realize I can do so much in a day, and I can push the boundaries, and I don't have to limit myself to doing just a few things in a day. So I really like that, you know. And you know, when life, you know, as cliche as it may sound, when life gives you lemons, you have to make lemonade. And I feel like being a nurse practitioner has definitely taught me how to make lemonade, strawberry lemonade, when it comes to maximizing my time and maintaining that work-life balance. Now, when it comes to traveling, I do love to travel, and we know nurses are infamous or notorious or known for, or traveling is their thing, right? So, and then as a nurse practitioner, I feared like, okay, this new schedule, I may not be able to travel as much as I wanted to. Wrong. Okay, I have a cheat code. So I do work for the government. We don't work weekends, we don't work holidays, and I have about 8 holidays in addition to vacation time. So what I typically do is when a holiday falls on a Friday or a Monday, let's say a holiday falls on a Monday, I'll save my call outs for a Friday. That'll give me a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, like a 4-day week. Because it's naturally a 3-day week, but I'm making a 4-day week because I'm going to save my calling out as much as I can until to attach it to these 3-day weekends to make it a 4-day week. And weekend trips are like now my thing. And like I said, as a nurse practitioner, I'm already conditioned to try to get the most done in one day. Like my brain is like rewired now. So yeah, so basically I just came back from Jamaica, and it was a weekend trip, and I got in on the Saturday, Sunday. I spent Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then I came back home on a Tuesday. And it worked out very, very, very well. And I had so much fun. And weekend trips were never my thing. I would like to stay longer, but now I just learned how to maximize, work with what I can. And I've been traveling just as much as before. So, so don't be afraid. I know a lot of nurses fear this like 5-day-a-week schedule because they're so used to the 312s and the flexibility. Again, it's not as great as the 3-day 12 hours, but you got to do what you got to do. And I don't think that's a valid reason to deter you from, you know, fulfilling your goal if being a nurse practitioner is a goal of yours. And as far as choosing a job, do not rush into your first nurse practitioner job. You have to consider the pay, because as a nurse, most nurses that work in an inpatient setting, you know, typically has a decent salary, increased capacity to make additional money because of OT opportunity, overtime opportunity, and then you also have great benefits. For the most part, and I'm speaking for New York City hospitals because that's the only hospitals that I'm familiar with. But when taking your first nurse practitioner position, you just have to be very meticulous. Think it through, be very thorough. Okay, think about the shift you're getting. Is it going to be 7 to 3, 8 to 4, 9 to 5? I would typically go for the earlier. I don't know how, you know, I'm single, I don't have children, but the earlier, I like to start early so I can have the rest of the day to kind of do what I got to do. And New York City traffic is horrendous. So I prefer 7 to 3, but you may have kids, may have to drop your kids off to school, so 9 to 5 might work better for you, but you have to think about the shift. So if it's 7 to 3, I would go for earlier. Proximity, how long is it going to take you to get to work and back? Because it may feel like a 12-hour shift 5 days a week if it's taking you up, you know, an hour or 2 to get to work, because that's 2 hours before, 2 hours after work. That's 4 plus 8, 12. So it may feel like a 12-hour shift. So you have to take that into consideration. You want to take your pay into consideration, your benefits. Is there parking? How are you going to commute to work? What is the cost of commuting to work? the specialty. Like, is this something you're interested in? Are you just taking it because it's your first job? You want to know the turnover rate. You want to, just kind of get a job that's most convenient for you. At the end of the day, you're still going to have to deal with the coworkers, patient load. You're going to have to deal with patient care. But, if the other specs, like your pay, travel, you get the time off, the flexibility, those things will help give you that balance and make it worth it. Because, the last thing you want to do is go, feel like you want to throw in the towel and go back to your old job. I don't believe in, going back. I feel like you should, even if you're at a plateau, you should move forward, not backwards. So yeah. Just be very patient, thorough, think it over, discuss it with your loved ones, and so on and so forth. So, and then lastly is the representation. So I am the youngest nurse practitioner at my practice, and I am the only African American nurse practitioner at my practice. And I just never realized how important and how profound it is for patients to feel and be represented. I get an overwhelming amount of feedback from my patients that look like me. Not only that they are proud of me, just the level of comfort when these patients come into the room. But I can just feel the exhalation. I can feel the comfort that they have. And, growing up as a kid, I never had that. Like, when I went to the doctor, like, I never saw a doctor that looked like me. And I just thought that was the norm. Or I never had a provider. Let's not say doctor. So when I was a child, seeing a pediatrician or orthopedics, I broke a hand, I broke a leg. I've been to the hospital. I've never saw a frontline provider that looked like me. So most of my doctors were, Caucasian. They were male. I didn't really even see females. Forget like race, but as far as gender, I didn't really see much females. And the fact that like my patients can feel represented and feel comfortable and just feel relatable, it's just like, it overjoys me. It makes me feel like it's bigger than just me. Like it just makes me feel like I went to school for me because I wanted to be a nurse practitioner. It was a goal and a dream and an aspiration of mine that I wanted to come true. But like every day I see that it's so much bigger than me, and it's overwhelming. It brings me a lot of joy, but I'm happy that I'm able to kind of represent in that way. And it makes me proud, and because for a long time, African Americans, have a distrust in the healthcare system, dating back to the Tuskegee trials when African Americans were manipulated. It's nice to know that we are moving forward and that, frontline providers are more diversified, and I'm just happy to be able to represent that. And I don't know where my career may take me. I don't know if this is it for me or if I'm going to go back to school for my doctorate. So I go back to school in a different specialty, in a different capacity. But so far, I do not regret becoming a nurse practitioner. I absolutely love it. I love the financial freedom. I like that it was cost effective. I love the autonomy. I love the representation, the diversity that I represent. And I am learning how to maximize the most out of my time, the most out of my day, because of this new work schedule, this new world. But I'm happy that I'm adapting. It is challenging, but I'm happy that I am adapting. And I do believe it is worth becoming a nurse practitioner. I encourage every person, women, male, young boy, young female, if this is something you wish to do, go ahead and apply yourself and get started, and start by applying to nursing school. and I wish you the best of luck in your studies. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for my next video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know in the comment section if this video helped you. If there's any suggestions you have for my next video, let me know. And thank you guys for watching, my future nurses and nurse practitioners.